Hello and welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. Riverside County Supervisors want to streamline the way your 911 calls are responded to. Right now, fire department and ambulance crews roll out to every 911 call, but is that necessary? With us now is Bob Buster. He's a supervisor in Riverside, and we appreciate you being here.
Glad to be here. And
So you want to make 911 responses more efficient. How are you going to do that?
Well, first of all, we need to improve our dispatch communication. Right now, we're not instantaneously through computers actually notifying the ambulance company that their ambulances are needed out there. We're wasting at least a minute on every call. So we're going to put in place a computer-aided dispatch system that will notify the ambulance simultaneously with the fire department about the calls.
And right now, the fire department and the ambulances roll out to every 911 call, but I imagine a cat stuck in a tree doesn't deserve an ambulance.
Yeah, there are a lot of minor calls, non-life-threatening calls, to which equipment now and manpower are over-deployed, that we're sending too much out there. It's not needed. It may be needed somewhere else, and so it can actually reduce the effectiveness out there. It's also very costly as well.
So does a major overhaul need to be done to know that the dispatcher could really logically think, oh, maybe we just need to send the fire department or a police officer?
Well, it is a big change, but it's already in place in other communities. City of San Bernardino already has a system in place. It takes training to our dispatchers, so they go through a series of questions to the caller. And studies have found that they can be very accurate, so they neither over-deploy resources, and they don't. They send enough resources to the serious calls, and they get them there a lot faster.
I imagine that the county is concerned about what so many cities are concerned about, and that's lawsuits if the response isn't proper. Because if someone does need an ambulance and it doesn't show up, there you go.
Well, overall, the error rates that we see in the areas where these systems are already in place are very low, less than 0.5% of what I understand. So that's well within the margin where any kind of increased liability would not exist. Right now, we have a system where we can be liable for over-deploying resources in the wrong location where we need them in another location.
Oh, they're too busy and tied up somewhere else
Exactly.
and can't get to where they need to go. How about the aspect of just educating the public not to call 911 for things that aren't really emergencies?
Well, that's a big ongoing thing. And of course, there's two other 11s. There's two 11s for informational purposes and for helplines and the like. So that's an ongoing process. But this can really help the public too, because it can give a caller whose a spouse or loved one or just a bystander has fallen over and maybe gotten a snake bite or has a stroke. The caller can be coached before the ambulance arrives, before help gets there, to help the victim so that they get immediate trained help by a bystander before they're taken to the emergency room. So there's a lot of things that we can do here, and we're going to start very soon.
Now, you're looking to San Bernardino County where they have already looked at this. So what kind of increased efficiencies have they enjoyed since they implemented their reevaluation?
Their results are quite dramatic. They have vastly reduced the number of calls where they're unnecessarily sending out too much equipment and too much manpower, and they have very little error rate as well. So that system's in place. It's working well. It's working well in other parts of the state and nation.
All right. Thank you very much, Bob Buster, for coming to tell us all about that.
Appreciate it.
And thank you for tuning in. Stay with us. HLN continues after this.